All right, everybody. Welcome back to episode 14?
14?
Maybe 15. I don't know. Of Fairweather fans. I am your host, Ed Fairweather, here with my co-host, Tyler Puska. We're excited to be back.
Holy crap.
After how many days has it been? I think it's been, what,
Been
9?
Too long.
It's a week and a half.
Basically.
Just more than we're used to. You know, the Tuesday and Thursday mix-up is kind of throwing us for a loop. But, I mean, every single episode's a blessing. We're happy to be back. I'm happy to be back. I mean, job's done tomorrow. Last day on the job in the next 3 weeks, folks. Dedicated solely to pumping out these episodes, pumping out the content, talking about sports and getting everyone their weekly fill and making sure everyone's up to date. I know, out of all of the weeks that we've had so far, I'm the least excited to talk about this one, just because of the current state of Boston sports and everything that's going on.
Yeah, just not pretty. Not pretty. Specifically one team.
Specifically one team. Specifically baseball. I mean, there's other stuff too, but just around the baseball, there's like some bad stuff that's happened. But
there's a lot of ugly stuff.
I mean, you know, it's never a bad week when you get to talk about sports. So this week, it's just, you know, it's lackluster comparing to prior weeks. But nevertheless, I'm pumped. I'm excited to be back in the studio here in the Doing Most Studios here in sunny Boston, Massachusetts. Quick tornado warning this morning.
Sunny Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the right side. And then you look to your left, and it's like, oh, we got a tornado coming in
Hurricane Grace.
Yeah,
absolutely fucking swinging.
That tornado warning that popped up on my phone scared the living Jesus out of me.
You have the noises on?
I guess I do. I don't really have the resources sometimes to just see those and be like, oh, that actually means something. And it's just like,
No,
I was just scrolling through my phone in bed and I'm just like,
I'm not afraid of some tornado.
and all of a sudden it's like, whoop,
But
whoop. I'm like, tornado warning. Okay, it says, seek shelter in a
we're in
basement.
Kansas.
Yeah, it's like seek shelter in a basement. I'm like, oh wait, I'm already in the basement.
Oh, there we
Hey,
go.
how are you?
But with that said, we had a little bit of scare this morning with the tornado. Blessed to be here. Hopefully, the 21st floor of the Hub 50 house doesn't collapse.
21st floor,
Men's away. But how was your week? Tell me a little bit. I mean, we get 9 days off, so we haven't seen each other for a little bit. But tell me how you been.
It's been all right.
Anything interesting?
No, nothing. Just same old usual, plugging away at work.
Mm-hmm.
Great to get back on the GTA grind though.
Of course.
Holy crap.
Of course, always great. Always great.
Just banging them
Have
out
those
like
late-
no
late
man's
night
business.
grind.
Like we never left. It's like we never left,
Don't call it a comeback. We have
Seriously.
been there for years. But that's it. That's all. Just working.
Yeah,
at
just
GTA.
working. Went to the gym
Oh yeah.
yesterday,
Quick.
last night.
Scary hour sesh for T-Puss.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel great. I actually feel pretty good. I haven't been in the gym in months,
Mhm.
and I'm looking to shave off some of the LBs. It's a process, but we're
Who
here
is
for
it
the long
nowadays,
run.
you know?
What?
Oh my God.
Yeah, some.
I'm
Holy
sorry, I
Christ!
sound like a fat ass over here.
Sound like me.
Hey, you're going to the gym at 10:30. I'm here farting and burping, and I'm like, fucking hell. But yeah, I mean, that was great getting back on the grind. So am I. I'm doing a little calorie deficit. I just had how much? 70 calories right there.
Yeah, jeez.
I'm eating happy and healthy. I had 1 day left in the workforce, working with the kids over at St. John's Prep. Not going to comment on that.
Nope.
Blood pressure's already been up to a 10. Need to keep it at a 2. That's what my doctor tells me, so I'm just going to refrain from talking about it. But
Just like a certain White Sox manager.
Tony La Russa. I don't want to fucking talk about that. But I had a good weekend. Went over to the nation's capital. Had a quick little stop there. Went to a concert. Went to a Nationals game. And flew back. It was pretty good. For 2, I think it was 2 days, 3 nights, and made the most of it. But it was a good weekend, and I'm glad to be back in the best city in the whole entire world, because you never know how good you have it in Boston until you go somewhere else and come back.
Especially of like a place like DC.
Which is
It's kind of a dump.
a lot of outdoor living there, yeah.
It's a dump.
A lot of tents set up on the side of the road. Thanks, Joey B. But with that said, I think we should just cut the personal talk and get right into fucking
I
sports.
was gonna say, how was Stapes though?
Stapes was great, dude.
You got to enjoy Stapes?
Yeah, I could smell the guy's fucking breath, basically. I
Yeah,
was
that's
right
unreal.
up there. If anyone's ever been in a general admission pit at a concert, it gets a little testy, gets a little spicy, but
And I actually wanted to mention to you that coming out in September is Metallica's like Blacklist album, and it's just like a bunch of their old songs, but it's different people like singing them.
yeah,
and
he has
nothing else
nothing.
matters.
I listened to it. He killed it.
I listen to that. It's 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
The normal song's like 5 minutes, and Staves made that 8 minutes.
The guy just shreds.
It was beautiful.
He
It was
fucking
awesome.
killed
I enjoyed listening to him.
Yeah, he's great. I listened to that too. Shane was like, "Oh, he has a new single," and I was like, "You don't even know that's a cover of
Yeah.
the Metallica. Nothing else matters." But with that said, yeah, the concert was sick. The tickets were $99. A guy almost died in front of me and my sister. He was dead passed out because it was basically 105 degrees in the pit.
Yeah.
Apparently he didn't eat anything, so we were talking to him for a little bit, and he went silent. He just folded right in front of me, caught his head right before it hit the ground.
You caught his head.
Yeah, it was a little freaky. It was an eventful weekend. I thought I was gonna pass out. It was hot as a witch's coochie.
Thank you for your service.
But we made it all the way out. We made it all the way there. Some great security guard at Jiffy Lube Live in Bristol, Virginia, had an absolute Hail Mary toss to me in the pit with a water bottle, Nestle water bottle. I mean, with that arm, get John Gruden on the phone because he could have fucking hit a target. I mean, aim small, miss small. The guy just throw of his life, and I thanked him afterwards, and he was like, "Buddy, it's just doing my job."
Just doing my job.
Yeah, he saved me because if I didn't have that water, I was going down like a sack of potatoes.
And
as well.
you know what? He acts like a pro. Makes a great throws.
Right.
You know, acting like a pro. Just doing my job. Just the people you appreciate, you want those kind of guys looking after you.
Yeah, in that spot, you want those kind of guys in that time of need. You need those kind of.
You
guys
want them
that
in your
spot.
circle.
And he was right. So, but yeah, I mean, Stapleton, it was great. There was a proposal. Someone proposed.
Oh boy!
Right there, that was awesome, and the crowd was awesome too. Like I think it was probably 20,000 people there. It was unbelievable. So with that said, and then the Nationals game, obviously they suck. They were playing the Red Hot Braves. They lost 6-5. Great game, 11 total runs. Can't really complain.
No.
Had pretty good tickets, decent weather. Got a Kyle Schwarber t-shirt on the clearance rack.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
that's financial advising right there, folks. Go to a traded player that. I don't even
Barton
know
and
what the
Burpin in
fuck
the
am I
mic.
traded to say right now.
Barton and burping in the mic
When a
again.
player gets traded to the Red Sox, go to his old team, get his jersey on the clearance aisle, and I'm pretty sure Shannon got a Kyle Schwarber.
How about that?
Yeah, pretty sweet too. So we capitalized on that good opportunity.
Hey, you didn't get your wallet stolen like I did in 8th grade going down to DC. So
Really?
round of applause.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
Round of
I
applause.
tried
Keep
really
your
hard.
wallet safe at National Park too.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, we were walking out and someone just fucking
Really?
like,
yeah.
the hell?
I mean, not the safest area, but
No,
the
especially
the Navy Yard.
Yeah, the Navy Yard.
But
there was an incident there like a month ago too.
Oh yeah, you could say that. But I mean, it was a good time. It was a day game, so can't really complain. Got to see Freddie Freeman hit a home run. Austin Riley, who we'll talk about a little bit, hit a home run. And it was great. Braves stayed red hot, and Nationals, they were competitive, and then they didn't really score any more runs, but they stayed in it. Only laid a quick $50 bet, but that's life. Got to spice it up a little bit when you're there. But I enjoyed the park. It's a pretty decent park, and there was a lot of Braves fans there, so it was good energy, even though it was only like 50% full. But not everywhere can be Fenway Park.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, I had a good time, and got home safe. And I wouldn't say got home safe. It was a little testy, which I'll talk about that in my rivalry segment on the old Airbus, that we're seeing take off right there in Boston Logan Airport right in front of us. I don't even want to look at that place.
You getting sick to your stomach, huh? Jesus.
Tough go. But
we'll get into that.
not the best yet. But with that said, I'll shut the fuck up. We can talk about sports here. And usually we start off with a little hockey, but we had a little dry week, folks. A little dry spill with the hockey news, which not every week can be the trade deadline and stuff like that, which I feel like I said last week too. But this was even a little bit more mundane. So we'll start off with baseball, just since we're in August, we're in the heat of it. I mean,
we're in the thick of it.
Yeah, I mean, the players are putting their big boy pants on. Like, we're starting to rev the engines. We're starting to pick it up a little bit.
We're in the fourth quarter of the season.
And but before we talk about the games and the standings and how all that stuff is changing, we'll talk about a little bit more news that's happened with current.
He's still
We'll say current
Ferent.
relief pitcher Trevor Bauer.
starter.
For those who haven't heard, he has a court hearing about some sexual assault allegations made against him a couple months ago, which people have been made aware of, the public's been made aware of, but that's kind of coming to fruition more as he's having these court hearings and stuff like that. But what's your thoughts on this? Because I know it's reaching its peak, and we don't know if we're going to see him in the league ever again, but stuff is starting to unfold and rulings are starting to be made. So I want to know what your thoughts on that before we get deeper into
Yeah, the way I've thought about this process and everything that I've been reading is that Bauer is from what it looks like on paper. I'm not in that courtroom. I'm not friends with
No.
Trevor Bauer. We're not
No.
in that circle.
We are extremely outside
From
of the
what
situation.
we get to read about, it looks like that Bauer is gonna come out of this like maybe even like completely unscathed.
Right.
Because I put a quote in there. Bauer's attorneys have contended that the encounters were quote unquote wholly consensual, in part because the woman texted Bauer, "Give me all the pain,"
Right.
and indicated she wanted to be choked and stuff like that. And that's something that in a podcast maybe a month ago I had talked about, that there was leaked messages.
Right.
And those were the messages. Those are the same things that were said.
Exactly.
So, and the big thing was the woman wanted a restraining order against Bauer, 5-year restraining order, and she didn't get it.
Yeah.
So now it's like Bauer's like, okay, we got some traction now, and then
They're starting to get some wins in the court. Yeah.
they during the cross examination, Bauer's attorneys and the woman, Bauer's attorneys, well, did they? I think they did. They had asked the woman if she had also had sexual encounters with other MLB players, and it is true. She was almost broken down in tears, and she admitted that she did have sexual relations with Fernando Tatis Jr.
Right.
and Mike Clevenger. And Bauer
She
had
made the rounds.
Bauer had made it clear from what I saw in the writing, that he did not want to bring Fernando into it, but he didn't want Clevenger to have any part in this because they're such best friends, and he doesn't deserve to take any of the heat for this. But the way we get to see it on paper, it's like, okay, Bauer seems to be like
Favored.
Yeah, he's
And just to make it clear, neither of us are by any means rooting for either side. We're just calling it as we see it. I know us as guys and sports fans and former sports players, people may think we're rooting for Trevor Bauer to get out of this and have him win, but not at all. We're
reading what we see. We're
Exactly.
reading what is directly coming out of this courtroom and what people are putting on paper. That's all we have
Yeah, exactly.
for information.
So we're just saying what we think is going to happen, what looks like it's going to happen, and we're just, reacting based off the evidence. So, I mean, if enough stuff came out that proved that he did do it, then obviously, I mean, that's the fact of the matter. But right now, as it stands, it looks like Trevor Bauer is going to be out of the woods with the current circumstances. Right now.
Innocent till proven guilty. That's the motto that we're following.
Absolutely.
And so we got the shitty part out of the way.
I'm sorry, I just almost fell out of my chair.
I know. I was
Three
like,
for a
you
little
looked
bit.
at me. You're like, I'm like, what
I didn't know this chair went back that far.
Well, actually, we don't have the shitty part out of the way because we got a couple more not great headlines coming out of the
No,
MLB.
it's been a tough fucking week for
So
baseball.
before we get to the Ohtani situation, I didn't even write this down, but I just thought of it. Oakland A's pitcher Chris
shit.
Bassett
Yeah.
just took a nasty line drive
Out question.
right off the side of the head.
My least favorite injury in all sports.
Really?
Yes.
That was
As a kid, this was the one thing when I was pitching Little League that I was fucking terrified about.
that's why. Yep.
Terrified. Like when I was a kid, I was like, okay, having tons of fun playing Little League. I just don't love pitching because I don't want to get drilled with a line drive.
Yeah, that's
Because my dad always taught me line drives up the middle every single time.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
That's how you're talking.
So when I'm sitting up there, I'm like, okay, this kid's perfect scenarios. Line drives up the middle. Guess who's right in the middle of the field? Me. So if I don't throw this guy the best pitch possible, I could get wired in the dome. And that's what happened to Chris Bassett. And from what I've heard and what I know about his background in baseball, he's a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder, is always competitive, loves to prove people wrong and stuff like that. So he just goes out there fearless, firing every single game. Just because he wants to prove that he's that guy. And then he gets probably the most unfortunate injury in all sports, and now he has to get facial reconstruction surgery.
That's
Which
it was so gut wrenching watching that video. We were playing GTA when that happened. We were on the mic. Did you see what happened to Chris Bassett? I watched it and I went,
Yep.
oh.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, I got the live reaction with that one. Which every single time it's the same exact thing. It's just a line drive up the middle. It goes right off his head. It's the same reaction. It's the same exact thing every single time. And it's no matter who it is. It can be the most hated player in baseball. And when that happens, you're just like, Jesus Christ, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, right. It's all the Chicago fans showing respect. The White Sox players and especially the Athletics players on the field, taking a knee. Some guys sending prayers for their pitcher. And
Absolutely.
hopefully Chris Bassett can come out of this on the other side because he's one hell of a pitcher. He's having one hell of a year for the for the A's, and that's a tough loss for them.
Not only that, but you have the facial reconstruction surgery, all the physical damage and stuff like that. But you also gotta take into account what toll it takes on the mental of the pitcher, because you're gonna have to get up there if you get the chance again, throw again, and just like have no fear that it's going to happen again.
And pitching is a lot
mental battle.
It's a mental battle. It's a mental warfare.
Yeah. So now you get a line drive to the head. You're a little shaken up. I'm going to guess he has a concussion. And now, when you do get back to that spot, which we haven't seen many pitchers when that happens, get back to their peak performance, you have to get up there and live with the anxiety that it might happen again and stuff like that. So it's that part too. It's not just physical, it's also mental. But we're praying for him, honestly. Obviously a great up-and-coming pitcher in this league. And it's just something that you absolutely hate to see. And you wouldn't wish it on anybody, in my opinion. But I really just can't think of any injuries that I loathe seeing more than that. You know?
Yeah, that was like I said, just gut-wrenching. I'm having trouble even talking about it because it's just the image in my head and just get fucking whacked.
It's one of those things that you wish you didn't see and you wish it didn't happen. But that's sports. That's the risk you take as a player and stuff like that. So with that said, we're thinking about him and we wish him well wishes and a speedy recovery. But with that said, another negative headline in MLB. Have a week, MLB. Have a week.
This one was like, holy shit, did these people not learn from what happened?
Absolutely not.
Like, they don't learn.
Nick Castellanos spares no man.
Nope.
Spares no man. Tigers announcer.
Jack Morris.
Jack Morris.
Hall of Famer.
Yes.
On live television. What are you doing? What are you doing? Moment. Like,
what are you doing?
We got Shohei Ohtani's coming up. You get the play-by-play.
Premier player in the league.
He's like, what do you do with Shohei Ohtani coming up? And Jack Morris just goes, be very, very careful. I'm just like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm like, why?
What are you doing?
When
will you learn?
Came out of his mouth.
And your actions have consequences!
I was like, he's done.
He's done.
He's done.
You are done, dude. Might as well. I don't know, we're going to be putting this headset on again, whether for Fox Sports Cincinnati or my bosses at Fox. And here's a deep drive. Here's a drive to deep left field by Castellanos. It will be a home run.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for this day in sports.
And, there's a surprise in this day of sports. Don't fucking tell me, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And simultaneously, as that happens, Nick Castellanos hits his 21st home run of the year.
Literally a minute and a half.
Circle. We're living in a simulation.
So we've had the Reds announcer situation. Castellanos hits a home run. We have the Kansas City broadcast eulogizing. No, it was the Reds' new guy eulogizing somebody. Castellanos up at the plate, hits a home run.
He really just doesn't know how to pick the right time.
This guy says that.
He feeds off the negativity.
And a minute later, it's just on my Twitter feed. It was on my Twitter feed, too. It was Nick Castellanos home run, 21st of the year. I'm like, this guy just doesn't stop. He does not give a rat's ass.
Absolutely not. I texted you when it happened, and I go, yada, yada, yada. I go, we live in a simulation where Castellanos home runs are the precursors to unfortunate events. None of this is real, and it's just going to keep happening. So I'm excited. Maybe I pray to fucking God it's not Eck that makes a stupid comment like that, which so many people, we've seen this all over Twitter, people are like, come on, you really? We're living in a society where you can't say that? Sure, he was trying to be funny, meant no offense to it, but in today's day of age,
you can't say that!
You can't say that on air, because there are going to be enough people that are going to get offended that will label you as a racist or that claim you're racist, and you're going to get fired.
I mean, we watched it happen.
Yes, I'm very unopinionated on the comment and stuff like that. I'm just reporting it and stuff like that. We're just talking about it on the podcast. But there is no excuse. You got to be smarter than that to say stuff like that, because you're going to offend enough people that you are going to lose your job. And now, buddy, you have an indefinite suspension.
You hit the nail on the head.
You don't know when you're going to be putting the headset back on. You don't.
He might never be putting it on ever again.
Yeah. Not for Fox Sports or his bosses at Fox.
Whether for his bosses at, I think they're Bally Sports now.
Oh, Bally Sports. My bad. Not for my bosses at Bally Sports. But Jack Morris, smell it.
Scumbag of the week, maybe?
Maybe you'll learn. Maybe
that's a new segment. Scumbag of the week.
We could sit here and be like, okay, maybe announcers will learn not to say stupid shit on air. But there's going to be at least one more instance. Which, You know, he sounded like Michael Scott when you said that, you know what I mean?
No, he sounded like Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, be very careful. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah, you know.
What are you doing?
If I was watching that live, which why the fuck would I be watching an Angels-Tigers game live? But I would be like, yep, see ya. Can't wait for the next color commentator to introduce himself because this guy's done.
This guy's
But,
host.
yeah,
See
to
ya.
be bagging groceries next week. But with that said, that happened.
Hey, we
Yeah.
got good news now.
We do?
Yeah,
Yay!
Ohtani hit 40 home runs last
Okay.
night.
I was gonna say the next bullet is not a positive thing. Maybe the worst thing that's happened. But yeah, Ohtani hits 40 home runs after he started. So basically, this is what happened. He started the game pitching and stuff like that. Did his usual thing. He hasn't had any outstanding games, like close to like one or two hitters. He's not doing that, but he's being a very solid pitcher on the mound and stuff like that. He has great stuff. He's very consistent. You know, doesn't give a lot of hittable pitches and stuff like that. But he just goes out there and does his job. Gets done with his outing, goes back, puts his helmet on, hits his 40th home run.
Yeah, like
The guy's a freak.
You know what? I saw someone say this, and it's like, I don't know if we're ever gonna see this ever again.
I don't think.
I don't
so.
think he's gonna do this next year. And
Oh, you don't think he's gonna do this next year?
I don't think this will be done ever again. I don't think he can.
I thought you
mount
meant
up.
another player's never gonna do
No,
this.
I don't even think I don't know if he can do that. Like what he's doing
He's
right now. He has
relatively young.
He has a ERA under 2, under 3, and he has 40
still
jacks and
ridiculous.
87 ribbies. Like,
Yeah.
huh?
Exactly. And the Angels suck.
And oh my god, they're fucking terrible. They're
Get
up.
this guy some help.
He's sure you got Shohei Ohtani, and then Mike Trout's been fucking hurt. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, imagine them together, like right now.
Yeah, Angels managers are making the Edmonton Oilers general managers look like patron saints right now, which it's hard to do. But you say you don't think he's going to do it again. I think he can do this consistently. Maybe not 40 home runs this quickly as a starting pitcher, but I think the guy's just got the talent. He is decently injury prone.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's
he manages it back then, and that's the only thing that
That's
gets
his
in his way
biggest
when it comes to doing stuff like this again. But I mean, I just don't think he gets enough credit. You have guys like LeBron James who go into interviews and say the stupidest shit, and that gets 10 times more coverage than Shohei Ohtani doing what he's doing right now. Like, this should be all people are talking about in the world of sports because it's just not getting enough credit. I don't think people realize how ridiculous this is
to be able to
on an athletic level, on a professional level.
to pitch that good and to hit that good in the fucking major leagues.
There's no more.
What?
There's no harder spot to be in as a pro baseball player than the major leagues, playing against the best in the world, and he's just making them look like little leaguers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, which is extremely frustrating because people are taking it for granted, and who knows when we're going to see it again, but...
We've been on the Shohei Ohtani train. We've been fucking all aboard.
Exactly. I can't complain about people not appreciating it because, we fucking...
We
love
do.
the guy.
We clearly do.
Exactly. So, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink it. And that's the case with the public opinion and Shohei Ohtani. So, with that said, he hits his 40th. I think he'll end up with probably 50, 55, which is
I can see him touching 50.
biblical.
50 homers, 115 ribbies.
Japanese Jesus over there.
Seriously.
He's making water out of wine. Making wine out of water.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah, there you go. Be very, very careful
Be very, very careful.
when pitching to Shohei Ohtani. Moving on. Are they dead? Are the Red Sox dead? We got on this mic 9 days ago. I was going to the Red Sox game that night. Whatever. Cool and good. They're in a slump. They're not doing the best.
We're not
Whatever.
even in a wild card spot now. We managed to blow a 10.5 game lead in 6 weeks
6 weeks.
over the person behind us, and we were battling it out with the race for first place.
We blew a 10-game lead in 22 days.
That's basic. Yeah.
So back to what I was saying. We do the episode 13, last week. I'm going to the game and I'm like, hey, maybe we turn it around tonight. We're going home. Let's see if we can turn it around. I think they lost. I don't know. I don't remember. Honestly. But little did we know how bad it would get. Little did we know how good we had it at the time. Because now they're just rock bottom. They're tied with the fucking New York Yankees. who are pathetic. They're so bad. They're so bad. I mean, coming into the season, I was one of the, I'd say every fucking episode, I was one of the only people that gave this team a chance. Then they come in and they shock everyone. They're like 20 games over 500. They're the best record in the league at a couple points. It just seems like the clock has struck midnight for this team.
They've always had some flaws, right? But they found ways to win games. And
Always.
then all of a sudden, it was almost just like destiny for this team where we get to the deadline and it's like we decide to hold off and, not do much. And then all of a sudden, the cracks start to go. And it's the bullpen. And it's the starting pitching. And it's the offense going really, really inconsistent.
I'm
And
so
it's just
fucking
like
mad.
now it's all together. And it's so frustrating because we were so lucky to watch this team. They almost like every time you'd watch them, they were never out of a game.
Never.
Never. You were never out of a game watching this team.
They would suck first 8 innings, and then bottom of the 8th, they would score like 5 runs and win the game. You'd be like, this team can't lose. This team can't lose. And then they go on a little slump that started 2 weeks ago. And last episode, I was like, okay, we're not that far into it. You still have time to come back. We have Schwarber coming back from the IR. We have Chris Sale returning for the first time in a year and a half. We're good. We are in the perfect position to come back from the slump and start to build a little bit more momentum. But it's only gotten worse. How the fuck has it only gotten worse?
Everything's just gone to shit.
Absolutely
Except
shit.
for Bobby Delbeck remembered how to hit a baseball. Chris Sale came back.
You're going to have to give me a 2-minute slot in a couple seconds just to rant about something.
Chris Sale came back and pitched for the first time in 2 years, and it was so happy. I was so happy to see him pitch, and then all of a sudden it was like that moment we could be that team again that we were the first couple months of the season. In that moment we were that team again, and then all of a sudden it went right back down to that slump. Go ahead. I want to hear this.
The Titanic is sinking, folks. And that Titanic, that cruise ship, is the Boston Red Sox. And you know who the iceberg is? Do you know who the iceberg is?
It's Alex Cora.
It's Alex fucking Cora. I fought people tooth and nail about this guy defending him, about how he's a good coach, about how 2018 it wasn't just a team, we had good coaching too, and he knew how to manage the pitching staff and who to start people where. But if you look at his history, if you look at the runs he's had, the teams he's had, the guy has done fucking nothing. Nothing. 2018 was one of the best baseball teams of all time.
It's the best team in Red Sox history.
Of all time.
Best team in Red Sox history.
I think top 10 best baseball teams of all time.
They won 108 fucking games.
But Alex Cora had nothing to contribute to that. Going to the playoffs, he's stretching Craig Kimbrell out 3 innings. He's shitting the bed. You're starting Ian Kinsler in the infield in big games and stuff like that. Pinch hitting the worst players at the worst times. And we still find a way to win the World Series in 6 games, one of the best teams of all time. And it takes him 6 games just because of Alex Cora's shitty fucking coaching. And then, fast forward to next year, he gets suspended for cheating. He fucking cheated. Yeah, I think he cheated. I wouldn't put it out of his character. 2 months ago, I liked this guy. I was a big fan of Alex Cora.
He's doing everything right.
He's the skipper. He's the guy that these guys love playing for, and he's the captain of the ship. But now, at the point we're at, I've had enough of it. I've had enough of his shit, and it's just more of the same. He pinch hits the worst guys at the worst time for no reason at all. If you look at the analytics of the people he's putting into the games with big times, they make absolutely no fucking sense. The way he tries to stretch out these relief pitchers at the worst times in huge games,
that's what bothers me.
And then they blow it. Is just like it's a broken clock, and it keeps happening. And I think Red Sox fans need to fucking realize it, because the way that he's screwing them out of games, and the way that he's just so nonchalant in times where he needs to be firing up his squad, it's just gotten to the point where enough is enough, and I've just had enough of it. The way that it's bases loaded. We're down 2 runs against the New York Yankees in a huge game where you need to bounce back and gain some momentum. You have Bobby Dahlbeck on deck in a 9 spot. Hottest hitter on the team is in your 9 spot. He's the best batting he's done all year. And you take him out, and you put in Travis fucking Shaw. You put in Travis Shaw. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Listen.
I don't get it. I'm not done. You gotta let me finish because I'm not done. You put in Travis Shaw and he can't hit a beach ball. Hit a beach ball. You can't. He just can't. And then you're sitting there and you get even more outs because Kike Hernandez, who was another Cinderella guy who was living off fairy dust, whiffs at every single pitch. And there you go. They're out of the jam and you're making this Yankees reliever look like Cy fucking Young because you took out Bobby Dahlbeck at the wrong time. And during the whole entire series, you were taking out guys who... You're taking out like starting pitchers who are doing pretty decent for relief pitchers, and yeah, they have a good inning and a half, but then you try and stretch them to 2, and there you go. You blow the game. So there you go. That's my rant. I mean, this is a good team. This is a good team. They've proved they're a good team, but when you make bad decisions as a coach and keep tired guys in there and replace the wrong guys in the lineup, never mind pick them up and put them on your squad in the first place that don't fucking belong there, that's where you know that it's more on the coach than it is the team. And that's the end. That's the end of my rant. I'll let you pick it back up.
That was awesome. That's one of the better.
I've been sitting on that for 9 days.
I am so glad that you just did that because that was actually really awesome what you just did. The way I see it is Alex Cora, he overmanages. And what I mean by that is he thinks too much and tries to do too much instead of just trusting his guys. Perfect example is the other night with the bases juiced. Bobby Delbeck's on fucking fire. And you got
fire.
So Alex Cora's like, okay, I want the new lefty, I want the lefty bat against the right-handed hitter. The only problem is Travis Shaw's hitting 198 this year. And what is Bobby Dahlbeck this month? He's done nothing but rake. Josh Taylor, in the first game of that doubleheader, threw 30-something pitches, and he had pitched like the night before, or like the last time they played, too. So, his bullpen management was always the biggest flaw with him, in my opinion. And it's showing now, because fucking, why is Hansel Robles pitching and not in AAA? Like, what are we doing? That guy we got from the Pirates, from Michael Chavis, he is fucking nowhere to be seen. He had a 6 ERA. What are we doing? Are we trying to win now? Bogarts isn't getting any older. JD's not getting any older. Sale, like, it's just, we've gotten, we're complacent. It's like, we're fine, you know. It's complacent.
Let me know when you want to pass the baton.
And it's so bothersome because we went to games earlier this year, and it felt like we were back because another team that we had, a lot of our winning teams are teams that we never feel that they're out of a game, and they pull shit out of their ass.
A bunch of underdog players.
Yes!
Nevertheless.
Yes!
This was a team that no one gave a fucking shot to. That they didn't have a snowball's chance in hell in some people's eyes. And then they get here, they have all these players who have been underperforming as of late. They come to the Red Sox. Kike Hernandez, Hunter Renfroe, Christian Arroyo, who's been hurt the whole entire time, Adam Ottavino, Whitlock, all of these guys who have been counted out by their teams. Like we said, I said this at the beginning of the fucking podcast. This is an island of misfit toys that have come together and strung together and gotten good chemistry, and they're playing well. And now there's little air coming out of their tires. It just seems like their skipper's fucking giving up on them.
Yeah, I feel like the whole organization did.
No.
I feel like this team, they needed help. And they didn't want to do it. And now not every fucking prospect turns out the way they're supposed to be.
Exactly.
It's just not how it works.
I don't know.
But, listen, like you said, like the underdog story, Kike Hernandez was a utility guy for the Dodgers. Hunter Renfroe hit like 200 last year for the Rays. Adam Ottavino sucked with the fucking Yankees.
Sucked.
Garrett Whitlock was a Rule 5 pick.
Yeah.
He was a Rule 5 draft pick. Verdugo was just a prospect.
Yeah.
JD, at the time when we got him, was not all that great. He had one good year.
People said he was overpaid.
Like,
the way I see it and the way that I've kind of viewed this in the last 2 weeks is that the players are skidding, and they still want to win. They're still in the winning mindset, but Alex Cora and the coaching staff and all the other pieces that aren't players are kind of content with, okay, this doesn't seem like our year.
Pack it
We'll
up.
win next year. They don't seem to have the urgency that the fans have right now of get it the fuck together. It's August.
Or the urgency that we had earlier in the year.
Yeah.
This team played with urgency. They played with heart.
They play with
And
grit.
they wanted to fucking win every single night.
Yeah.
And now here we are. We're just like,
We get down in games. We just don't have the fight that we do. And we were hoping that the previous homestand would fix it, and it just, nothing came out of it. So I think the only thing you have to do now is you got to get the leadership in the locker room to get guys to buy back in again and to kind of, something needs to change. Not necessarily change, but there needs to be a fire lit under Alex Cora's ass to get his guys going again and kind of get the momentum back, because I think they're forgetting how good they were.
this team needs
the
to be,
fans
they need to be steered in a direction. And that's what your skipper does. That's what Alex Cora is supposed to do in this situation. And it doesn't seem like he's doing that.
Not at all.
And you know what? He better fucking do it, because we just got swept by the Yankees, and if this shit keeps up, we're done. I'm putting a fucking bow.
Exactly.
I mean,
Which is bad enough.
The AL is too good this year.
It was bad enough. It was the fucking Yankees. I had Yankee fans everywhere that were like, you beat us in a series for the first time all year, and you act like you win the World Series. Listen, you went out and sold your whole entire prospect pool for Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo, and now you're stringing together some games. You're forgetting that you sucked all fucking year. Yeah, you're ahead of us in the standings, and who knows how long that's going to last. But one, you had to go out and get all of these guys to win right now, and there's no shot you're winning the fucking World Series. No shot. So yeah, take your little August doubleheader victories against a struggling Red Sox team, so you can have your little mortal victories for the first time against your rivals in years, which we I don't know. We couldn't wipe our asses the last time they won a World Series. So all these chirps being thrown Red Sox fans' way and stuff like that, we don't want to hear it. And sure as shit, they've been silent all year, and now they have shit to talk about. So that's a little frustrating. This team is incredibly frustrating. The management is incredibly frustrating. It just feels like, I don't know, there has to be a turning point, and hopefully a guy like Chris Sale, when he's fully healthy, he's one of the captains, he's one of the veteran presidents.
He's done it before. We've seen him in the World Series fire this team up.
Yeah.
And light the fire under their ass.
So, I mean, I feel in the next 2 weeks it's going to be put up or shut up for the Red Sox if they want to make the playoffs, if they want to be a contender. And something's going to have to change very quickly, and they're going to have to turn it around. So, I mean, it's go time. So we'll see where it goes from there. I know my blood pressure is at fucking 300 right now, but just needed to get that out, because sitting there in silence and watching this team just fumble
the bag, like flip it and fucking throw it off the balcony,
has been difficult. But you have the 5th easiest schedule the rest of the way in the whole entire league. So it's time. It's just time to go. It's time to fucking go. It's time to turn it up to the gear that we've had it all season.
Yeah,
all fucking season.
We need to find that gear again.
I'm not laying this team to rest, but something's got to change, because the attitude and the mentality that this team is showing right now is just fucking abysmal.
These next 2 weeks are gonna define where this team goes for the rest of the year.
Yep.
These next 2 weeks.
So there you go.
Who do you got? You got Texas. I think you got Tampa.
You got the Orioles so many times.
You have
Baltimore.
Those are must-win games. You need to win every game against Baltimore. You need to have that mentality.
Yeah.
You got to play catch-up now.
Exactly.
Now we got to play catch-up, because we had that skid.
Exactly. So for a team that hasn't had to play catch-up all year, it's kind of it's new for them. So they're in a whole new environment that I don't think they expected to be in, the one they're in right now. But I feel like when you're taking the wind out of the sails, like Bobby Dahlbeck taking him out of that game in a prime moment where he's been hitting his ass off. Just not the managerial moves you need, but nothing really we can do about it. So with that said, that concludes the 10-minute Red Sox rant. I feel fantastic wanting to get that out, but it seems like you have one more thing to say.
Yeah, I wrote something on there. I know I was ripping Heimblum a little bit earlier, but the whole like not getting guys at the deadline and getting help, but he has actually done a pretty fucking good job rebuilding this prospect pool, because Dave Dombrowski just literally bled the fucking thing dry. Our 4th overall pick, Marcelo Meyer, is already the 9th highest prospect in Major League Baseball. He's already
Yeah.
the 9th best prospect in Major League Baseball.
Life moves pretty fast.
So,
So we'll take the victories. We'll take the victories where we can get them. Did the Yankees have 9th prospect?
no, they don't. Fuck you.
But
That's it.
I'm tired of talking about the Red Sox.
Get the fuck.
Yeah, my meter, my tank is on E right now.
I feel better now that
Oh shit! This was like a therapy session.
I feel much better now.
Much better. So get it together, Red Sox.
Go Sox. Come on, boys.
Go
Come
Sox. Go. But with that said, we can talk about a good thing. A good thing happened in baseball. Tyler Gilbert, his first MLB start for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Former Rule 5 draft pick.
Yep. Gets no hitter.
Against the fucking slam Diego Padres.
Exactly. So, I mean, David versus Goliath, this guy comes in, has his first start. He definitely some jitters there, definitely some nerves. Obviously, your first MLB start. Comes in, throws a no-no.
That's unbelievable. Would you hang him up after that? First MLB
Exactly.
start. Yeah, I didn't hang him up. I go out while I'm on top.
Fuck it, boys. Hey, it's been a good career. Thank you for catching that. Dude, the final out of that no-no was stressful.
Casal Marte?
Yeah. Line drive, pitch missile right to center field, and then just the way he caught it, it's like he teleported into his glove.
Yeah, right.
It was an absolute piss missile, and I'm sure Tyler Gilbert is glad he caught it because that was a pretty good story. So just wanted to mention that. Obviously, hopefully he can build off that and have some good starts for an Arizona Diamondbacks team, which is absolutely fucking brutal. Tough week for Arizona sports. We'll get to it.
Holy shit.
So maybe some good momentum for the Diamondbacks and they'll keep moving forward, and they get a good young pitcher, which is what they need. But hopefully, he can build out this and not just be the guy that got the no hitter in his first start and then went downhill and hit the bullpen and then AAA and yada yada yada. So good for Tyler Gilbert. Good to see a good thing happen in baseball. And talking about baseball outside of the major leagues, Little League World Series is back.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
one of the best things to watch during the year. Very underrated.
I went when I was 12 years old. To Williamsport, and that was awesome, getting to see Lambeau Stadium and stuff like that, and the teams compete. No international teams this year, which is a little disappointing, but it's an American game, so it'll be all American teams, and the qualifiers are happening right now. 2 teams from each division get to make it just because of the absence of overseas teams like Japan, Mexico, and all the other guys. So that's a little disappointing, but it's COVID. We're still feeling the after effects, but it's great. I enjoy it every single year. It's a good way to end the summer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good cap on the summer sports scene, and get to hear about Todd Frazier every single game and how he played in the Little League World Series, and now his nephew is in it. So if in case you forgot, Todd Frazier played in the Little League World Series, which you'll be reminded about at least 2,000 times.
And you'll be reminded that Jason Varitek won. World Little League World Series.
World Little League Series?
Yep. Little League World Series championship, a college championship, and an MLB championship.
Yes. So they're going to keep...
the narratives, the typical narratives.
Exactly. Yeah. Beating that dead horse.
You know you're watching the Little League World Series when they bring up Todd Frazier and Jason Varitek.
I was going to wear my Little League World Series shirt, but it didn't really fit me anymore. But I'm very excited about that. Love this tournament. Very good tournament. And I like how they're bringing more co-ed teams. With Monet Davis, I went that year. That was pretty cool.
You went that year?
I also went the year Jackie Robinson West, the team full of 16-year-olds played and made it to the finals. You remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, the Midwest team, it's like the Spain Special Olympics team we talked about last week.
Oh yeah.
Jackie Robinson West had all players that were 3 years older than the max age you could be, but they didn't win it, so it didn't really matter. But Japan can't win it this year, which I'm sure they're disappointed about. But yeah, I'm excited for Little League World Series. I know it's a very popular tournament, and it's great to see the kids absolutely go to bat, and can't go wrong with the Little League World Series. So I'm excited for that. It's getting going, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that, and I'm excited to watch. But with that said, that caps our baseball talk for this week. Obviously, our most jam-packed segment or area of the show, if you ask me, but filled up a lot of time, but it's the heat. Like I said at the beginning, it's August. We're getting things going. We're starting to put into a higher gear. So not a lot of good stuff to talk about when it comes to the Red Sox. Hopefully a little bit better subject matter next week. Hopefully they can turn it on and get us a little excited going into October.
Give me something,
because a good run in October for us to talk about on the podcast would be sweet. I think we can all agree with that.
We would have the Red Sox in the playoffs. We'd have the Bees, the Celtics, and the Patriots.
All going.
Woo! I'd be fucking glued to my TV.
Yeah.
You would have thought today's episode that the NHL, like, you could have swapped those. The way we talked about the MLB.
Exactly.
Like, that was probably our longest MLB segment by a long shot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
We usually spend that type of time on NHL.
we're 47 minutes in right now. So
Holy
that's
smokes.
we'll move on to our primary sport, and that is hockey. The biggest piece of news,
Is a piece on the jersey.
yes, exactly. Take it with a grain of salt, whether you like it or not, or don't. I know a lot of people don't, but the NHL has approved jersey ads for the 2022-2023 season, and they can be no larger than 3 inches by 3.5 inches, which is fucking big. When you think about it, that's 3 inches and 3.5 inches on a jersey. I mean,
It's like
you already had helmet jerseys, which people don't like, and now you have the helmet and the jersey. We're starting to become an overseas league.
Yeah, that's what I fear, that we're just gonna be more and more ads.
Yeah, what's next? Pants ads?
Yeah, dude. Right where the Bauer logo is, or right where the Warrior logo is.
Right.
Yep. Oh, we'll sell that too.
Exactly.
And it's just
So-
like, no, this is like, the ads are for overseas, like European soccer, like just soccer in general. They have ads. Like, I know the NBA. The NBA's not. The NBA did it actually really well.
Those aren't horrible.
With the small ads. Yeah, I kind of like some of them. It just gives you like a little. They're different. And then with the NHL, it's like, you know what? If you just throw them, like, obviously you get, like, unlike the NBA and some of these other sports, you wear a captain patch. So it's gonna be interesting to see, like, Detroit. Detroit has to go with their captain patch on this shoulder because of their logo.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they put. I actually wouldn't mind them seeing them like on the shoulder, because teams do shoulder patches. So
Right.
if you throw one of them or like two of them on the shoulders, like, that's okay. I don't want them to get every NHL fan. I guarantee will say the same thing. They just can't get obnoxious.
Exactly.
Like you said, overseas. jerseys.
We've seen obnoxious jersey ads in the NBA and in soccer. Thank God it's out of the MLB for now. But just, I mean, for such an old sport like hockey and how long it's been around and how sacred these jerseys are to some fans, now you can stick a fucking Dunkin' Donuts advertisement on the Bruins jersey, or a Little Caesars ad on the fucking Red Wings jersey,
or a Wawa fucking thing
on the
on
Flyers.
yeah.
So I don't know. I it's one of those things where it's not big enough to get me angry. I'm not mad.
Well, at
I'm
least
just disappointed.
at least it's a step in the right direction to gain
How?
revenue
Yeah, I guess.
and get the salary cap back up.
I guess.
Like, that's, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Like, they just can't get obnoxious. That's all.
Right. So I mean, if it was just the jersey ads and not the helmets, but now it's the helmets and the jersey, so there's gonna be ads littered all over them. So I mean, I honestly don't love that at all. But with the way things have gone with COVID and stuff like that, you gotta make up for lost ground in terms of revenue somehow. And this is just one of those ways. So loss. I mean, I'll chalk it down as a loss for the league. But I mean, I know Gary Bettman is definitely revenue focused and stuff like that. But the league's got to make up lost ground somehow.
Yep.
And everyone knew that when the helmet ads got put on and stuff like that, when those got implemented, you knew those weren't going anywhere. You knew those were there for good. So I feel like this will be the same thing, and who knows, maybe the art of the jersey and how sacred people hold that will just have to fade away, and we'll just have to live with it. But that's how it is. I know 3 inches and 3 by 3.5 inches is a little big for some people and stuff like that. But I mean, all it means is you're just gonna have to get your jerseys before next year.
That's the max it can be.
Right.
So
Which you
some of
think-
them are
you think
going to be
teams-
smaller.
I think teams won't take the max, or companies won't take the max they can.
Yeah.
I think they absolutely will. It's all about money, but it's the root of all evils, and it's gonna ruin our hockey jerseys. So while you're at it, get the jersey you want this year, so next year you don't have to have a Dunkin' patch on your Bruins jersey or whatever. But there's definitely gonna be a lot of jersey collectors ripping some seams off the jersey. So that's the art of the deal. It's a profitable business and will be treated as such. So that'll start it off for NHL news.
Yeah.
Do we have like a single good thing to talk about yet? Everything on here. So we went from baseball, Trevor Bauer sexual assault, to
Be very careful.
to racially motivated comments on live TV, to the Red Sox sucking, to Tyler Gilbert was probably the only good thing to Bassett getting hit in the head with a pitch, and now we have Jersey Nets. So
And now
we have
the fucking Coyotes.
are in serious shit.
That Das Boot.
Yeah, I mean,
That-
can we get some
they're
serotonin in this podcast, please? I feel empty inside without. We just gotta have like a moment of pure excitement to talk about, which I mean, like we really don't. We really don't. So the Coyotes are getting the boot out of the Gila River Arena after this season. They are $1.5 million in debt. That's not good. But the city of Glendale has given them the boot, told them that they've had enough, just not profitable enough for them to keep going there, to keep having games there, which is just a horrible sign for the Coyotes. Maybe they can find a better home where the Suns play or whatever, but I think it's just the revenue that they're bringing in isn't sustainable.
You know
at the time.
the Quebec fans are absolutely fucking licking their chops.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I'd like to actually, if Arizona had to move, I actually wouldn't mind seeing a team in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, the Bucks just won the NBA championship. You got Green Bay,
For sure.
the Packers, one of the most storied franchises in NFL history. I mean, it's
And University of Wisconsin.
University of Wisconsin is just
The culture they have is awesome.
They're pumping out
Yeah,
hockey guys. So
exactly.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing them
No,
as an
that's-
NHL team, but
That's a fantastic idea, but above everything, you hope that the Coyotes can sustain.
yeah, the Yotes.
They've built that culture. They have a long string of good players. They have good prospects coming through the pool, but right now they're just not the most profitable they can be. They got to get out of this $1.5 million debt somehow. And during the rebuild that they're in right now, it's just it's going to be tough to do that in the current state they're in. So they're in trouble, no doubt. Obviously, we've hyped them up and how they've handled their rebuild and stuff like that, and how they've been trading for draft picks and how they've been drafting well and making good moves. But on a business standpoint, that's just not going to get it done right now. So they're getting the boot out of the Gila River. Obviously, the city of Glendale and their fans haven't really been supporting them incredibly, so they're going to have to find a new home, whether it's in Phoenix or wherever it is. But right now, it's just they're not doing it. So interesting to see what direction they'll be going in, because the current one they're on is just not sustainable on a financial standpoint. So that said, we'll move on from that. Interesting to see where they'll go from here. But NHL 22.
Holy crap.
August 19th.
NHL 22. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
22. When was your first NHL game?
09.
Me too.
Yeah.
So we've been playing this game for what?
14 years probably.
13, 14?
Yeah.
13 years?
Yes. For those that don't know, me and Tyler's friendship has kind of been molded from the game of NHL. We've built our relationship a lot playing this game together throughout the years. So this is a franchise that me and him hold very near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah,
We care a lot about it. So August 19th, the reveal trailer came out, and we learned that there's not a lot of new stuff. Which if you were expecting that, you kind of looked dumb, because
the new cover came out. Wait, it's not.
am I buying NHL 20 again?
Yeah,
I saw a lot of leaks that it was going to be David Pastrnak, which would have been sick.
Or Nathan McKinnon.
Exactly.
Or Artemi Panarin.
Or Kucherov.
Yeah, like.
But when you look at the impact that Matthews has on the game and how he's kind of changed the style and the whole scene around the sport and stuff like that, and his impact on the U.S. market.
And the Toronto media.
Exactly.
Getting people to buy this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, it makes sense, but
Absolutely.
it's like, what?
It took me a good 20 minutes to remember that this is the second time on the cover. I was like, oh, that's Matthews. Like, that's cool. And then I checked. I was like, wait, he's already been on there.
Yeah, wait,
What the
what's he doing back here?
Exactly. So kind of weird. They introduced new Superstar X Factor, which is a thing for Madden. I don't play Madden, so if you'd like to elaborate on what that is, I would
Yeah, so they did explain how it's going to be, like, implemented from, like, obviously Madden. They have a superstar rating, and it starts at, like, a bronze level, just, like, normal development, right?
Yeah.
So it's called a development trait, and it can go from normal, star, superstar, superstar X Factor.
Yeah.
And then when you get different, like, perks, and once you get to superstar X Factor, you get this big game-changing...
you make the big plays.
Yeah, you get this big game-changing thing. And I read...
That cross crease is going to go so hard.
I was doing my due diligence trying to read up more on that.
Yeah.
And they won't have like the normal superstar X factor like they usually do in Madden. They're gonna stick with like, how they have the elite franchise top
Okay.
6, top 9. Like all the same development traits that we've had in NHL since. I think those started in 2015 because in 2014 they used to have the star system, if you don't remember.
Yeah.
They used to do like the gold star, the green, the red.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old
Classic.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, that'll be interesting to see how that changes and how that works with making your own player. I know the way that they've gotten rid of badges and stuff like that, and how you can upgrade your player in ESHL and stuff like that. It's a lot more like 2K.
We're back to the old days.
Where you
That's
upgraded the individual stats and stuff like that. So I'm all for that. I know the badges I didn't incredibly love because they kind of got repetitive, and it didn't really take you that long to get the badges you need, and then you're kind of done.
Yeah, NHL 14 they had it, and you get XP and you'd upgrade whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that was my first year at ESHL, and then 2016 it came around, and they gave us these preset classes, and you just had like 3 badges, and it was like
right.
Oh, okay.
Once you get the marathon man and other stuff.
There was no separation between players. It was either you're the 5'7" .60 sniper, the 6'9" 270 enforcer defenseman.
Yeah, I typically go with the 6'2" two-way forward. That's the build out.
You have been the two-way forward since we first started playing.
Selke.
Selke winner, face-off guy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like no matter what, we're kind of suckers for these games, as bad as they can get, and how much they make me mad and raise my blood pressure. I'll always get them. They always have a special place in my heart. I've had a lot of great moments with friends and siblings and all that stuff playing this game. So I'm excited for it. I wish there was a new cover man more than anything.
Yeah,
but feels like I'm kind of buying the same exact game twice.
Oof.
But hey, whatever's gonna make them the most money. And I feel like Matthews is that choice. I feel like there's no better premier player than him right now. So.
Obviously, the new Frostbite engine is something that has been going on. Like,
right.
Madden and FIFA have been using the Frostbite engine for a long time now, and NHL was always a step behind it. We finally get a new engine where the game runs on, so it's going to be interesting to see how different the game feels. Yeah. The new animations, like there was...
The blocking animation.
Look, did you ever... I think... Oh, God, I don't think I've asked you, but... NHL 2K games, did you ever play those?
No, never.
Yeah. So the shot
them.
blocking animations are very similar to the old 2K games because they would actually like slide and it would actually look like a dive.
Yeah.
And protecting the puck too. You don't just, it's not just a stagnant skate. You keep crossing over and you keep gaining speed.
Right.
And one of them, Malkin used this offhand to like, shield the defender, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this game feels on the Frostbite engine for the first time, and also how it feels on the next generation of consoles.
Exactly, which the game looks great.
Oh my God, it looks gorgeous.
Consoles, the new graphics is going to be great. I know I'm sticking with the Xbox One for a little bit now because I've had it since 2014 and things never done me wrong. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had this experience with your Xbox or something like that, but my Xbox turns on by itself. I'll wake up in the morning at 8:30 and my Xbox has been on for 9 hours.
Jeez.
It's just how it's gone, and things never slow down. It runs games beautifully. But the new graphics is one of the things that caught my eye with this new game. I would, sue me. I'm excited for an NHL game. So when that comes out, the last thing it needs, we're missing one key piece, and that's crossplay. Once we get that, then I think
maybe some GM Connect.
Well, yeah, everyone wants GM connected. I'm not really in that boat, and the fans have been asking for it forever.
We've been asking since it got taken out in 2014.
I don't understand what the roadblock is with that. People are definitely asking for it, so why not just give it to them? But, I'm excited. I like the new engine. I think that's something that's going to be promising unless they absolutely totally fuck it up, which I wouldn't put out of EA's
exactly.
range. So.
We've been playing this game for too long to not get your hopes like completely up.
I'm keeping the bar extremely low, but I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to play the hell out of it, and even if it is just 21 with roster updates. But that's some virtual news in hockey, but I think that's really all we have for NHL.
That's it. I mean, we're just in the dead period of the NHL.
Exactly. I mean, you knew we wouldn't have the momentum all summer long. There's always a dead period after training camp and stuff like that, and before preseason, there's always this empty void, which isn't going to last incredibly long. But it's just where we stand right now, and we'll be back next week, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more to talk about. But NHL 2022, let's go. I'm fired up.
Let's do it, baby.
I know a lot of people have a lot of bad stuff to say about it, but it's
those are just haters. Those people just say bad things to say bad things. Like they're still gonna buy.
We
the
all have bad things to say, but some people just say them, and those are the people that are sounding off. So NHL 2022, like I said, I'm gonna play the hell out of it, like I always do. And it's what coming out in September?
October.
What?
Yeah.
It's usually September.
Yeah. Well, everything's pushed back. I mean, we're getting the fucking reveal trailer now. We usually get it in July. We usually get the beta right about now.
Exactly.
We would usually be playing the beta and be like, oh, now we gotta go back to that shit game. Like,
right. Yeah. So Cheeseburger Phil and Tyrone will be back in full force for NHL 2022. And I feel like that's really all we have for NHL. Definitely a slow week in general. So with that said, we'll move on to the National Basketball Association. And Summer League is wrapped up. Finals between the Sacramento Kings and the Boston Celtics had the Kings winning 100-67.
Summer League pain.
Great, yeah, exactly. I mean, one Celtics team had to let us down, and it's just a ritual. It had to happen. They weren't winning. They got piped 100-67 in that championship game. Like 26 turnovers.
Yeah.
Astronomical numbers on the turnovers. Just couldn't hold on to the ball. That was just good defense by Sacktown. But good run for that Celtics Summer League team. Bruno Fernandez, guys like Carson Edwards.
Peyton Pritchard,
Aaron Nesmith. It's just good. I mean, good stuff. I know you would like to see a little bit more competitiveness in that Summer League game, but you'll take a championship finals for Summer League. So
yeah,
that was cool. You had guys like Luka Garza, Kane Cunningham, and who was the number 2 overall? Jalen Green, all making headlines and stuff like that. LiAngelo Ball showing up and proving himself, getting a contract. So that's a lot of good headlines out of the Summer League. I know Summer League is you either love it or you hate it, or either hot or you're cold. So I'm a guy that likes the Summer League. I watch it pretty closely, even though I'm not that big of a basketball guy. But I like to see these new guys in action and how they compare to how they did in college. So that's a wrap on that. Pretty Monday, not an incredible amount of highlights and stuff like that, but out of the Celtics squad that had a tough offseason in terms of general managers and making moves, having them make it to the finals and go 4-0 in the regular season and stuff like that was cool to see. It's good to see that they have that competitiveness even just in Summer League. So hopefully that can transfer over. You had some white guy, forget his name, absolutely blanking, that got a contract. He was playing well.
I know. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's out of
Virginia.
Yeah. I don't really know his name, but he played well, and hopefully he can. All these guys who have played well in the Summer League can transfer over to the league and be valuable bench players for a Celtics team that definitely needs depth down the roster. So that's good for them. And in terms of guys like Kate Cunningham, you didn't really have that many players that really balled out in Summer League. Not that many big performances, like guys dropping like 50. Just good team basketball all around and stuff like that. But something that we don't really have on the docket is the Lakers bolstering their lineup with guys like Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and some other guys too. Which I mean, their roster on paper right now is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we already talked about that.
Yeah, I feel like a little bit, but just now that their roster is being finalized.
Okay.
Was Dennis Schroeder was after the podcast, right?
Yeah, remember?
Yep. Dennis Schroeder is the Boston Celtics point guard, which dating back to last episode, probably 20 minutes after we finished. The whole entire episode I was talking about how I don't want this guy on the team, and we turn off the mics, turn off the cameras, boom, he's on the team. And I'm like, okay, there you go.
Welcome
Fuck
to
me, I guess.
Yep.
So I gave the good mush on that, and he's going to be in the starting five for the Celtics, a guy that I'm not big of a fan of, but who knows, maybe I'll come to love him. Like I said, I don't want them to sign him, but if they do, I'll just have to live with it. And right now I'm living with it, so what are your thoughts on the signing?
I don't mind it. I like the way he plays the game. It's just holy crap that he fumbled the shit out of that bag.
Oh my God.
He had $88 million.
Fumbled that bag.
And now he's, what, $7 million? $7 million for a year? He could have a shit year and get maybe a minimum contract next year.
Do you see on his Instagram he's already cutting people's hair?
Yeah.
Doing barber work. Got to make up for that lost $21 million a year. So, I mean, welcome to the team. If he plays incredibly well with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams in that starting five, I will eat my words. I will. What do you want me to do? I'll eat a ghost pepper if he plays incredible. If he makes, what should the deal be? If All-Star game?
No way he's an all-star.
No. So what would be satisfactory for you when it comes to Dennis Schroeder? Schroeder.
What do I want? Kemba
Average
averaged
a
20.
double-double?
I don't think he'll ever average a double-double. If he can, maybe, let's say,
Average
maybe
15?
I was going to say, but 15 is very likely, and I don't want to put you through ghost pepper hell. Let's say he averages, like, let's say 15 plus in 7 plus assists or 6 plus assists.
How about if he is... I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Maybe we can think of something. We'll come back with it
Yeah,
next
but
time.
I know. I need something to eat my words because I'm not expecting much from this guy. I know just from prior playoff series against the Celtics, I hated his guts, to put it lightly. So he's on the Celtics now. I'm just gonna have to live with it. You like the move. A lot of people like the move. Kind of an embarrassing moment for him as he has to play for the Celtics after leaving the Lakers and LeBron after fumbling the bag. But he has a lot to prove, and if he plays with that chip on his shoulder, then that'll be beneficial for the Celtics. So another Celtics move that we put on here, Marcus Smart signed an extension.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? 4 years, $77 million.
4 years, $77 million.
So I mean, 77.1 to
Oh,
be exact. The defensive guard that is Marcus Smart gets that 4-year extension. I know with Marcus Smart it's the same thing. You either love him or you hate him. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy. I don't like how much he flops, how much he shoots. Not the best three ball shooter, but what do you think about this signing? Because I think it's relatively solid at the price tag that we
yeah, I think that's why it is solid, because of the price tag, and he does a lot of things that go unnoticed as a basketball player for this team, and everyone in a lot of people in this city loves how hard he plays the game and how hard he works. And yeah, obviously we all get pissed when he fucking shoots the ball like 10 times from 3 and hits maybe 2 of them, like Marcus.
He's one of those guys
Steph
like,
Curry.
yeah, he sits at the 3-point line, misses a shot, and then proceeds to like
Dude.
point stuff out.
I'll fucking do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that meme of Goofy.
Yeah, he's
I'll
got.
fucking do it
He'll
again.
do it again. But I know he's my dad's least favorite player by a country mile. I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of him, but he plays hard. He plays with that chip on his shoulder. He plays it great.
One of the
Just
best on-ball defenders.
Yeah, just
In
on
the
offense. On offense, he does all the wrong things. But you get the good with the bad, and that's life. As a Celtics fan, there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. So I have very low expectations for the Celtics this year, especially with the moves they've made and guys they've brought. But Jason Tatum has the potential to have an MVP-like year. So I think, sometimes can be good, sometimes can be shit. And I think
Sometimes good, sometimes maybe she.
yeah, if Fire and Ice, Jalen and Jason light it up this year, then I think they have a potential to be a 4 or 5 seed, maybe even a 3 seed if they play their best with Dennis Schroeder. But the way things are setting up, and the way things are looking, they've with the Evan Fournier sign and trade, they opened up I think $13 million in a cap exception. So.
Oh boy!
So what that technically means is that if next season, only next season, not this season, if they go out and they trade for a superstar and they get big money, they get an extra $13 million or $17 million, something around there. It wasn't more than 17 to go out of just free money, free $18 million to go out and get another person on top of that.
Yeah.
So I think the way that most
They did that
Celtics
with
fans,
who did they do that with? Gordon Hayward.
yeah.
They got a big time trade exception for Gordon Hayward too.
Exactly. So the way I see it is, I think in most Celtics fans, their wet dream is they go out and get Bradley Beal, and then they go out and get another big man for big money.
that is the ideal wet dream,
Yeah.
actually.
So I think that's the way Brad's setting stuff up. I think the way that most of the moves have gone is that he's game planning more for next year than this year, kind of putting this year on the DL, which you never love, but I don't think many fans have high expectations for the Celtics.
Yeah, it's not like we're
Just-
not trying to win. It's
with
just
the current landscape.
we're not
of the
going
East.
all in.
Yeah,
we're not going
not
all in like a Brooklyn or
The current state
in LA.
of the East right now is a little tough to compete in, and just freeing up cap for future spots and future moves never really hurts. So that's the kind of state that the Celtics are in. Pretty decent signing in Marcus Smart, and hopefully he can have a bounce back year and be the player that he is at his prime. So Brad Stevens obviously holds him to a higher standard than most fans, but that's the reason he got this re-signing. That's the reason he's here for 4 more years. So with that said, we also had Luka Garza.
Oh yeah.
Best player in college basketball, gets drafted very late in the second round. Something about the scouts, just they didn't see him transitioning, his skill transitioning into the NBA, but he now has a 2-way deal with the Pistons.
And he looked great during the summer league.
Exactly.
Looked like he in
Luka
college.
Garza.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe this is a steal for Detroit. I think this is a guy that was undisputably the best player in college basketball, if you ask me. But there's obviously a hard translation from one league to the other, so he gets locked up, which is good. It's better than him going unsigned, which just would have been weird because the guy was just so dominant. And he's the type of player that I think would have success in the NBA, and that's why he got a contract, and hopefully he can get some serious minutes with a Pistons team that could use some talented young players to complement Kate Cunningham.
Yep.
So that said, that really wraps up our NBA news. Another slow week for NBA, but the biggest one, aside from MLB, is the NFL. The NFL is 100 miles per hour right now.
Oh yeah, we're
going.
fucking gas pedals through the floor.
Only 3 weeks of preseason this year. A lot of teams playing their second preseason game tonight,
including
on Thursday.
Including
the New England Patriots. They play the Philadelphia Eagles.
Whoa.
I almost.
Whoa.
Shut the fuck up.
Hot soup.
Almost said it. But they play the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia tonight. They face Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and their young cast of talented players. Hopefully we get to see Mac Jones plays good. Ramondre Stevenson actually putting on a clinic.
Holy hell.
How can that guy run? I mean, the running back core that the Patriots have this year is just outstanding when you look at the pure depth that they have.
Damian Harris, Sony Michel, James White, Ramondre Stevenson,
Brandon Bolden.
J.J. Taylor.
J.J. Taylor. 6 good running backs.
Like,
I mean, you know, the rich get richer when it comes to running backs. I mean, if this guy can be the player that he is in preseason and regular season, this is the guy that will be very valuable to the team. Just the way he runs, the guy's a fucking tank.
Yeah,
absolute tank. And if you've seen him in college, you know that's the way he plays. He's a bowling ball going down the lane. And
well, his college running back coach was DeMarco Murray.
Really,
DeMarco Murray.
I had no idea. That's
and
the insight you bring.
DeMarco Murray showed him a lot of tape of LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah.
So,
very LeGarrette Blount-esque player, just the way that he runs downhill, just
power.
A huge body. And you know, this is usually when you see guys built like him, very, very strong, very, very widely built that can run downhill and run guys over. You usually don't see the kind of runs that he had.
Dude,
with a minute left in the fourth quarter, taking it 91 yards on a 2-play drive to the crib to absolutely just put a bow on that preseason game, which, yeah, it's preseason. Not really garbage time, only up by 3.
He really gained some separation on that run,
for sure.
On that run too. Like that's nothing to brush over. Like
absolutely not.
His size and breakaway speed like that.
For sure. Yeah, which I mean, you see it in the NFL, the new type of game that's being presented with guys like Derrick Henry, and partly Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has kind of built. He's a little bit speedier, but the bigger running backs that can really break tackles and stuff like that are starting to become more mainstream than they have in the past. And when you have a guy like Ramondre Stevenson, you kind of stole in terms of in the draft order, complementing the good cast of both receiving and running backs you have in your depth chart. I mean, you can't really hate that. Guys like this are very valuable to your team when it comes to having 5 guys on your roster. So you put out Sony Michel, boom, breaks off a run. You get fresh legs every single play. That can really break down the defense. So.
Get Damian Harris out there for a second down run. Third down in 5 maybe? You get James White out there, you throw a little slip screen underneath, he picks up 10.
If you're not excited about this Patriots team, then I don't know.
Get the hell out.
Well, get too excited.
Fuck you if you're not excited.
I mean, this running back core is just absolutely beautiful. Hopefully they can stay healthy, and I'm looking forward to, 1, watching the game tonight, and 2, watching their regular season, because it's going to be fun.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's
so
be a great time.
We'll keep an eye on that game tonight. Obviously, if anything big happens, we'll talk about it. But nothing but good things. Obviously, they're 1-0 in the preseason, so really can't complain. But the defense, obviously making good plays. Guys like Matthew Judon and Jalen Mills making big plays and stuff like that. So for a defense that's poised to be the best in the league this year.
Joe John Williams had a interception too.
Yeah, so he's going into year 3, a guy that's had a lot of promise. So a lot of guys that are poised to break out, and a lot of guys that are poised to have years and continue their momentum from last year and stuff like that. So this defense is going to be scary. Once again, very excited to watch him. But they're not the only team in the league. We got to talk about other people. And guys like Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Fields all make preseason debuts. All of them.
They all look good.
All look good.
They all look
good. Which I feel like, personally, I feel like they're, this NFL draft in particular had a lot of studs, had a lot of guys who could play. And one of the better drafts in recent memory. So when you have this many good players who all have proven themselves in the NCAA, come to the NFL, and all transition well and play good in their first preseason games, I mean, great success so far.
Yeah, Lawrence, I mean, he had that great throw to Marvin Jones. Trey Lance had that bomb. Justin Fields was running all over the place.
So, yeah, exactly.
Zach Wilson, who was kind of, I guess, skeptic. He was just like, during the... But he was kind of bad during training camp.
But you don't have to put it lightly.
He was bad during training camp, but he
went
in that first preseason game with his the little tie in the back, the little skull cap.
Yeah, always.
And he went out there and he played pretty good too. So hopefully this all continues because we haven't had a quarterback draft class like this in a very long time.
Incredibly long time, and it would suck to see all these guys kind of not transition well in the NFL, but so far it's been going great. I know guys like Andy Dalton have felt their job under a little scrutiny, a little pressure. He recently said in an interview that Justin's going to have a great career, but right now it's my time. Actually, buddy, your time was the 8 years you spent in Cincinnati where you did fucking jack shit. You made the playoffs one time.
The red and he got hurt, remember?
Yeah, so I don't know.
The red rifle.
To say that right now is your time when Justin Fields is getting all of the hype, getting most of the snaps in preseason, and just getting most of the momentum. It's hard to say it's your time, especially when you've had a lot of time to prove yourself on different teams and in different organizations. You just haven't. So obviously you like to have that confidence in your starting quarterback, which Andy Dalton I would say is the starting quarterback right now. But definitely, I honestly I feel like I'm being a little bit hard on him because you gotta have that confidence. You can't come out and be like, yeah, Justin, he might take my job. He's doing a good job and stuff like that. So I honestly just don't personally. Just what I'm trying to say is I don't see him going the whole season. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Anything? Any comment on Andy Dalton?
The red rifle. No, you touched on everything.
Gotcha.
Everything that I was gonna say, you got to. So
yeah, and then Lawrence getting just no help with his offensive line, which you had to see coming. That's no surprise there. We all knew that was gonna happen. The Jaguars are dog shit.
But he was actually he had good pocket mobility for it. Pocket collapsed on him a lot, but he had good pocket mobility. And I still remember that great throw he had to Marvin Jones, and I mean that's a sleeper offense if they can figure out their O-line woes because they got Marvin Jones, they got DJ Chark, they got Laviska Shea now, and they got a two-headed monster in the back. Yeah, that's a scary running back too, and young too.
So if they play to their potential, they could be a much better team than they were last year, which wouldn't take much. So Mac Jones played pretty decently, played a lot of dink and dunk. He went not 6 for 9. I think it was 9 for 12 or something around. I thought
it was like 13 for 60.
It was 13 for
7 yards.
Yeah, which 13 passes for 87 yards, kind of light.
But they didn't.
It was just the offense they're going to play this year, dink and dunk down the field, burn clock.
I had watched, somebody had broke down his preseason performance, and a lot of the passing routes that he did have, they were just short to medium routes anyway.
Right.
There wasn't really any designed deep shots, and the ones that he had, he put them in good areas. Like, they were great throws, and they just didn't come up with
one pass to one receiver.
That 40-yard bomb to Wilkerson early
to the left side of the end zone.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to hit you in the hands there. My bad. But would have loved to have that one. I'm sure social media would have gone crazy, but he'll definitely get some good snaps tonight and get some good looks and hopefully make some plays. But I liked most of what I saw from the Patriots.
Me too.
So we'll obviously talk about that once we get deeper into the preseason. Week 1 of preseason is pretty fucking baseline for stuff to get excited about. So we'll move on from that. But another thing, just to cap off the Patriots talk, is that Bill Belichick came out and said that he hasn't named a starter yet. Which everyone's like, oh my god, Mac Jones is going to start. Oh my god, like Cam Newton's lost his job. No, dude. If you know the Patriots, you know Bill Belichick for long enough, you know this is just him. He doesn't feed into the media. He's not going to come out and announce who's the starter. He likes to have his quarterbacks and his position players still have some competition going into the season. He's never going to come out and say who's the starter. He's just going to pick a starter.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, okay, this guy's going to start the game for us. He's not going to be like, yep, Cam Newton is our quarterback. That's not Bill Belichick. That's not who he is. He doesn't really play in the narrative. So when people ask him questions like that, he gives them the most mundane answer available. So he's like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, that's Bill Belichick to a T there. And if you don't know that by now, then you haven't been around. So Bill Belichick being Bill Belichick, and probably the worst thing to come out of the NFL this week is the taunting rule is stupid, folks.
It's so dumb. So dumb. It's just a part of the game.
My dad likes to say when he sees stuff like that, he looks at me and he goes, weakening the nation. And you're making a soft society here. When guys make a big play, they have that much adrenaline playing on the biggest stage in the world.
It's just gonna naturally happen, like a fist pump in some guy's face, like
Flag. Are you serious? Pussy. And who is it? It's the guy for the Giants. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he's all for this. He's saying that it has no place in this league, which has had a place in this league for forever. And it's just guys having confidence and stuff like that. Going back to guys like T.O. and Deion Sanders who have always played with some swagger.
You show emotion on the field.
Yeah. What are they, robots?
I
know they're making
no
a lot of
fun
money, but
league.
they're not a fucking ATM.
No fun league.
So, hopefully they're not incredibly hard-pressing on this. Hopefully they're a little lenient. But nobody really likes this. I know the majority of fans dislike this, and hopefully they're not incredibly strict when it comes to that. So, you hate to see no fun league become less fun, but when you're living under the regime that is Roger Goodell's, you gotta come to expect this kind of stuff. But that'll wrap it up for our NFL, and we move on to birthdays of the week. Did you not do birthdays of the week? We'll do birthdays of the day.
There was no real good birthdays this week, so we'll do today's birthday. Even though we said last episode that we were gonna do birthdays of the week, just looking through all sports news, and it's like, it's not that great.
You know, Donald Trump and Derrick Henry have the same height and weight.
What?
Add Donnie to the Patriots backfield.
Get him in there now.
Yeah. But,
all right, so I got him right here. We got today's birthdays.
You like that?
Mr. Captain Kirk Cousins turns 33 today. Famous offensive tackle Anthony Munoz turns 63 today. Daryl Sutter turns 63.
Calgary Flames head coach.
Ned Yost, that's a name I know well. Turns 67. Kirk Herbstreit, Mr. fucking college football.
52.
52.
He doesn't look 52.
No, he doesn't look 52.
You look good, Kirk.
Famous Saints punter Morton Anderson turns 61. Brandon Brooks, Eagles offensive guard, turns 32. Ron Renicky, former Sox manager, turns 65.
Skipper.
Here's a blast from the past name here. J.J. Hardy.
Jesus.
Fucking former Orioles shortstop. Of course, on that team with like Chris Davis.
Who just retired.
Yeah.
Happy retirement, Chris.
Continuing. Happy 34th birthday to Mr. Cocaine Man Patrick Chung.
Jesus. All he's done for us, and you call him fucking Mr. Cocaine Man.
Well, I mean, how do you not, that just went away. It was just the fucking funniest
Enjoy
thing
retirement, Patrick. I'm sorry some people call you Mr. Cocaine Man.
Happy 24th birthday to Rams running back Darnell Henderson.
Darrell.
Darrell.
Continue.
Oh, Jesus. Happy 39th birthday to Steve Ott.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. And happy 19th birthday to Quentin Byfield.
He's young as shit,
19.
Dude. Wow.
Jesus. I'm 19. This guy get drafted Sexton. Colin Sexton.
Woohoo! Second overall at 18 years old, but and then Brant Clark joins him in the prospect pool. So promising young pool for the Kings.
Yes.
I feel like in the next coming weeks we should have a regular season preview, which we'll have. That'll be a big part of an upcoming episode. So we'll preview each team just like we
did on the inaugural.
Yes, in the first episode we recapped, and in a couple weeks we will preview. And the Kings will be a big topic as they've bolstered their lineup incredibly. But continue. I think that's it.
That's
Josh
it.
Fields and Chris Bubik.
Bubik.
Yeah, so that'll do it for that. And
Chris
moving on
Bubik.
to this day in sports.
Okay. So here comes my surprise too. So this day in 2013, Red Sox had called up Xander Bogaerts.
How's that going for him?
They won World Series that year, no big deal. This day in 2015, Dodgers acquire second baseman Chase Utley from the Philadelphia Phillies. This day in 2015, Kelvin Benjamin tears his ACL.
Horrible.
In 2016, the Flames had signed Sean Monahan to a 7-year contract extension. 2016, the United States defeats Spain and advances to the gold medal game. 2018, White Sox call up Michael Kopech, who was drafted by the Red Sox and was, of course, traded in the Chris Sale trade.
How's that going for him?
2019, Chris Sale. It was announced that Chris Sale was out for the season, and here comes the surprise. You ready for this one? This day in 2020, there was a game, and it was in Kansas City, and the Kansas City Royals playing the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh!
And Tom Brennan
Tommy!
steps into that booth.
This is Tom Brennan.
Tom Brennan. He steps into that booth. Famous
Then what happened?
Famous Reds announcer, announced tons of games on like NFL on Fox too.
Then what happened, Ty?
He sits in there, and he just goes, talking about Kansas City, he goes, one of the fag capitals of the world.
Then what happened?
Reds Live coming up next. And then he goes, he had realized what he had said.
He realized he was
he realized the magnitude, and of course one of the most famous sports events that I had ever witnessed.
One of my favorites.
One of my personal favorites. He gets in, camera's on him. He's like, I made a comment that went over the air tonight that I am deeply ashamed of.
I'm not particularly proud of. Deeply ashamed of.
I am deeply ashamed of. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith, and Nicholas Castellanos with a 440-foot jack to left center.
There's a deep shot to the left field by Nick Castellanos. It will be a home run.
And there's a drive in deep left field by Castellanos that will be a home run. And that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. And then, of course, he didn't, in fact, know if he was going to be putting that headset on ever again. Whether it was his bosses at Phlox, whether it was his bosses at the Reds, he didn't know. He didn't think he was going to be putting that headset on ever again.
Right.
And so far, I don't think he has put the headset on.
No, I don't think he ever will. We're back.
Put the hard hats back on.
This will be a low quality audio podcast since we're using the camera audio now. Since the laptop just crashed, we lost all of the audio. But
the beat goes on.
What's life without a little challenge?
The beat goes on.
We don't have to use these fucking mics anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But with that said, fuck, I don't even know what to say. So.
We were priding ourselves and think of ourselves as a man of faith.
The computer prided himself as a man of faith, and
then you hit Nicholas Castellanos bomb to the moon.
I just tried to watch the video, that thing would have crashed anyway if
even if you touched
if I tried to go into WeTransfer and transfer the files or whatever. We're just gonna use the video and the audio from the cameras. So we were talking about the Castellanos, the home run heard around the world. One of my favorite sports moments of all time.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean,
come on, let's try and cheer up here. We got to finish this.
That was tough. That was a tough one to swallow.
Tough balance,
but we're here.
Absolutely.
We're back again. We're put the hard hats back on.
Exactly. So that happened. We finished up this week in sports, and the drive heard around the world was one of the biggest things, and that'll do it for that segment. And then we close out with rivalries. And
you want to hit it first?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the first one I have is LeBron James versus public opinion. This guy has it so hard, man. How do you do it, LeBron? How? How do you manage in such a cruel environment that you have to be a professional in, man? Because he saw that he got 0 votes in the MVP poll, and I mean
it wasn't even MVP poll. It was a poll. Who was the best player in the NBA? And he got 0 votes.
0 votes. Yeah, dude, you're right. You're right. You really earned at least 1 vote, man. And he came out and he was pissed and talked about how unfairly he's treated in the league.
Oh,
dude,
you're such a fucking drama queen. This is why people don't like you.
You literally can sneeze and they'll write an article about it. And you're over here complaining that you didn't get 1 vote after literally doing nothing the whole entire year with a good team, with a good fucking team. So yeah, you didn't get 1 vote, buddy. Life goes on, but you don't have to make it all about you. For once, this guy he's never, ever made it about the team. It's always about him. It's always about him. It's about how he's being treated unfairly and how he doesn't get the respect he deserves and yada, yada, yada. It's just absolutely ridiculous to me. I mean, I just don't get it, and that's my biggest rival because he just has it so hard.
Oh, no, he does, man.
I don't get how he does it. And
all that
thoughts
money.
and prayers, LeBron. Thoughts and prayers. You get treated so poorly, man. I don't get how you do it. So that's my first rivalry, and the second one is me versus airplanes.
I was very interested to hear this
winged
one.
Buses. The first bad experience I had on an airplane was back in April, coming back from Dallas after I went to the Rangers game and the Red Sox. And those 2 flights there and back were hell on wheels. Hell on wheels.
Turbulence?
Turbulence up the wazoo. Wazoo. And I was like, okay. I landed. That was back in April. I was fine. I fly to Washington this weekend. Everything's fine. There, it's okay. There's a little bit of turbulence, but not horrible. Like, I wasn't even nervous for a second. The returning flight was a 5:30 United Airlines flight. And when I tell you the guy who flew the plane had no fucking idea how to drive that thing, it was the first time he ever drove a plane. Because we get off the ground, had to wait on the tarmac for 45 minutes because of rain. Which, that guy obviously probably couldn't handle it because we get off the ground barely. We go on the runway. We are just driving so fast on the runway. And then at the last second, he takes off. And we are flying into straight clouds. So it's just turbulence. Yada, yada, yada. I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm like, it's fine. It doesn't matter. You're fine. We get up to peak altitude. This guy needs to drop the plane. And he goes from here. Show my hand here. To here. And it goes from up to going totally down. And the plane just dips. We are going straight down. We're like, what the fuck? Freaking out. And then he pulls up.
No!
Fast. And we're like, holy shit, get me off this plane.
Roller coaster. That's why you don't fly United.
And we still have an hour 45 to go. And then he takes us, totally flies by Logan Airport, and starts going north. And we're like, where the fuck is this guy taking us? He has to pull a U-ey, go all the way around, and we get in there safe and sound. He barely lands the fucking plane. And we're like, thank you, baby Jesus, for helping me land this plane. So yeah, I had a tough 8-round bout with an airplane this weekend, and I'm just thankful I don't have to fly for probably 4 months. I don't know. Usually that's the space it takes in between trips. Oh no, I'm going to National in October, so yeah, a good month until I have to get on another plane.
Don't fly United Airlines.
I've had some trust me, I'm going JetBlue or nothing, or I'm walking.
Yeah.
Just fuck that. I'm not doing that again. I don't fuck with planes. I don't fuck with planes at all. So that'll conclude my second rivalry, but not a good experience.
My rivalry this week was Lance Lynn versus his belt. We had another Max Scherzer type situation with the belt. Lance Lynn was frustrated. Came over to do the foreign substance check. Belt came off, thrown at the ground. Get right out. So the belt and Lance Lynn did
Easy
not
on the
have,
beers, Lance.
Yeah,
Easy on the beers. I didn't really see this, I saw it on the list. And I kind of chuckled before I even started talking about mine, but that's textbook Lance right there.
Oh, that guy pitches with so much emotion, and the fact that he did that too just makes me feel even happier.
Textbook from Lance there. Textbook, absolutely textbook. So, with that said, we'll go on to our Dat Dude of the Week. New segment, kind of relatively new segment that I enjoy. I feel like I always have my guys that I like to put on here and talk about when they don't really get a lot of spotlight. My Dat Dude of the Week is no other than Atlanta Braves outfielder Austin Riley.
I mean, that guy fucking raked all week.
Yeah, so you have a Braves team that was kind of struggling in the standings behind teams like Mets and the Phillies in the NL East, and kind of having ruts here and there, not really playing very consistently, and really with the core that they had of Acuna Jr. and Freddie Freeman and Ozzie Albies and guys like that, it really couldn't get it going. And now you have a guy like Austin Riley who's batting .353 in the month of August.
Finally getting back where he should be as a baseball player.
Exactly.
He's had so much. He's had so much potential, and I'm just glad he's starting to hit the way he is because he's a special player at the plate.
Exactly. I mean, he's probably one of the more underrated players, especially since he's batting .353 in August. I got to see him firsthand in person this weekend at the Nationals game, and he hit an absolute fucking piss missile to left field, no doubter. Back-to-back home runs with Freddie and then Austin Riley. So that 1-2 punch they have of just hard-hitting players is just something they needed, and now they're in first place in their division. So it's thanks to guys like Austin Riley who are batting .353, have a .392 on-base percentage, and now they're first place in the league, and they have guys like Austin Riley to thank for that. So he's my Dat Dude of the Week.
My Dat Dude of the Week, none other than Tyler Gilbert. I mean,
pretty good week for him.
Just such a special story, man. Rule 5 draft pick. Just fought his way through the minors. finally gets his first MLB start. I think he's 27.
Yeah.
I think he's 27 years old, making his first MLB start, and the D-backs have had not much to root for this year.
Not at all.
Not much to root for.
They'll take these little victories, man.
And, you know, if you're a D-backs fan facing the Padres, you're probably like, oh, we're probably getting the brakes beat off of us here. And
Absolutely.
Tyler Gilbert goes out there, doesn't
allow
hit,
a single hit.
which was really remarkable stuff. And
Solid contact, like we said on that last.
that was roped right
That
at
was
Cattell Marte.
Yeah,
and
and he caught that on a line, man. Good catch by him, like we said. That was nerve-wracking shit, especially if you're watching that live, rooting for the D-backs, which you would have to be from Arizona. Like I said, who the fuck would watch that game? But yeah, I absolutely that dude of the week. And if I'm him, I'm lacing him up and being like, boys,
hanging the cleats up.
it was fun.
Thank you,
I'm
everybody.
Going out on top.
High five at everybody.
There you go. That is our last segment. Obviously, a lot of fucking ups and downs in this episode. I felt like it was a great episode, and we'll obviously have the video and we'll have the audio from the cameras that we'll use to make an audio file podcast. So it's going to be very low quality, but we'll work with what we work with. You know, you got to fight through the ups and downs, the adversity. It's not always going to be easy. And, you know, it's only 14 episodes in. I know whenever we have shit like this happen where we're like, we're only this far in, but, you know, 14 episodes isn't a lot. So we're still relatively new at this, and hopefully shit like this never happens again, it was out of our hands and stuff like that. But, you know, you learn from it. It's not always going to be easy, and we're going to find ways to get content out and get a podcast out with the video. It's going to be up on YouTube, full episodes, and then obviously there's going to be clips and stuff like that, and then I'll use the audio from the video to obviously make an audio file.
Yeah, so it's what you do when you face adversity, and you know what? That's what we're going to do. We had some adversity today, losing the audio file, but here we are. We're back. We're here.
Exactly.
We're gonna
Bump
put
in the
this
road.
out
Severe
because
bump in the road.
we're putting this out because we absolutely loved this episode. I know you. I know myself. This is probably my favorite episode at this point.
Really?
Just because the Red Sox rant, just the different things that have
It was a
happened
good
this
episode.
week. We had a great episode, and we really didn't want to re-record it just to we wouldn't have the same emotion.
Absolutely
really. It
not.
would have been so faked, and you know what? So we'll just pump this out. And we hope you like it, and just bear with us.
Bear with us, obviously, because, you know, when you're faced with a mountain like that, you can either turn around, you can go over it, and here we're going to go over it, and we're going to use the resources that we have to
Run right
do
through
the best. Yeah, we're going to run right fucking through it. So, with that said, thank you so much for listening to episode 14, or watching episode 14 of the Fairweather Fans podcast. I am your host, Dan Fairweather, here with Tyler Puska. Once again, thank you for watching. We'll be back next week for episode 15 with actual fucking audio.
Yep.
It's just not going to happen again. So, have a good night, have a great weekend, and Taylor Hall is a Boston Bruin.
Bingo!